And welcome back to the fourth quarter. Orchard Lake St. Mary's hosting University of Detroit Jesuit. Chad Bush and Sam Stick Day alongside in Nebraska. And this is a reset, a continuation from a suspended game yesterday. Glad to have you back with us. Welcome inside Full Court Prep. Stick, we left off yesterday with Orchard Lake St. Mary's leading 52-47 over UAD. We saw two stars from each side really turn up on a Friday night. And then condensation came, and it really never left. And the two head coaches with the officials decided to postpone this game and suspend it till today. And here we are this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Had a nice breakfast, had some coffee, and ready to go. Part two of a tremendous game. The only thing that's going to be missing from this part of the game is the atmosphere. You look around the gym, it's clearly not as packed as it was. I don't think there's a student in the student section. You know, it's Friday night. They got to wake up early, come to a Saturday basketball game. But I don't expect that to affect the intensity of the teams on the court. We are going to get 4 minutes and 22 seconds of some of the best basketball you will ever see in the state of Michigan. And hopefully it picks up right where it left off with Trey McKinney and Sonny Wilson trading hoops.
What a fun game it was yesterday, and you said it. Trey McKinney alongside Sonny Wilson, back and forth they went, and it wasn't just those fellas. I mean, it was a well-played, crisp game, and a game that saw U of D go up by 5 early. And then St. Mary's would end up finishing the first quarter up by 5 and pretty much have the lead the rest of the way until Sonny came alive in that fourth quarter, as we get a look there at the Toledo commit, Sonny Wilson. But, Stick, it was fun to watch these two Warriors go at it, and both these teams ranked number 2 in our top 10 and ranked number 8 in our top 10, respectively.
Yeah, Sonny Wilson, not only those 3 3-pointers that he put up in a row, he also had 5 points on buzzer beaters, 2 going into the half and 1 ending the third quarter. So he was really keeping UAD in this game, and I'm excited to get this started.
You see the rankings there with UAD alongside at number 2. Number 1, Brother Rice, took a loss yesterday. And what some would say is an upset, but some would say is not. And that's just what you have in the Catholic League Central Division. That's what you have here today. It was 38-34. Our number 6 team, De La Salle, and the reigning state champion in Division I, knocking off Brother Rice on the road in Bluefield Hills, 38-34. And other teams of note in that top 10, Cass Tech 66, Southeastern 24. And the big one, another upset. Number 3 went down. Warren Lincoln gets upset 36-27, a football score in Warren, as Fitzgerald gets their first win of the year against the number 3 team in our poll. I mean, things are wild and wacky, and nothing surprising us at this point.
Crazy night last night in MHSAA basketball.
Sure was. So we've got highlights from both of the bangers yesterday. Trey McKinney, 34 points. 16 of 22. We've got some film of Trey, and what he did yesterday, Stick, was really something that most folks have not seen in this gym, maybe ever.
Yeah, I mean, he was just attacking the hoop. He was going in, he was going out. Like you saw it here, it was just tough for him to even get stopped by any defender. You put a big on him, too fast for him. Put a small on him, too strong for him. And that mid-range jumper is just unreal, especially when you combine it with this ability to go to the hoop like he did there. And then this, we still don't know what to call that. We called it a reverse yesterday. It was just a backwards layup. And he back cuts here. Nice pass by Sherrod Barnes. He was just doing it all, and St. Mary's honestly needed every single bit of it to stay in the lead. There he is, using his size once again, hang time, just able to get wherever he wanted on the court methodically. And then that little mid-range jumper from the baseline, if you put a smaller defender on him, he's going to have that 100 times out of 100.
No doubt. Trey McKinney, big time, 34 points, 16 of 22. St. Mary's has had one player score 40 or more points in the last 30 years. His name's Will Smythe, and his brother Daniel is playing in this game here today. Will knocked home 12 triples in 2021 and March 8th. He had 40. Trey McKinney 6 shy of it, but that's elite company to get 40 points for the Eaglets.
And that's honestly shocking to me when you said that, because I'm looking up at the all-time scorers. You got Kalen Lucas up there, Lon Bowman, Kylo Jones, C.J. Wilson. You would assumed all of them would have had a 40-point game to amass that many points in high school basketball. I mean, look at that, 1,688 points. How do you do that without a 40-point game?
Didn't happen. Hard to believe. Tim Meggy did it a few times. In fact, Tim has the all-time mark, 56 points, as you see there in one game that happened back in 1969. We also saw Sonny Wilson, and Sonny went off himself. Sonny Boy went for 23 points, 9 of 17 in the ball game thus far. He was big time, and he lived up to the billing thus far.
Yeah, and once he got hot, this game really got intense. I mean, we could blame him for bringing the precipitation because he was bringing the rain all night long on the court. Step back three-pointers, hitting 3 of them in a row that really got UAD back in the game. And you see he was giving it to the Orchard Lake St. Mary's student section. And here he is again, long three-pointers too. And then St. Mary's started to show out a little bit on him to make sure that he couldn't shoot those anymore. But still, the talent of that young man, he can get wherever he wants on the floor, and he is definitely the heart and soul of the UAD Cubs.
We're coming back for further analysis from Dabrowski as we get set for the Eaglets against the Cubs, the final 422, coming up right after this.
Are you prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself? Shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy. Forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit. The heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Welcome back to Orchard Lake. Good morning. Happy Saturday. His name is Stick. My name is Chad. We're the Prep. St. Mary's leads 52-47. And when we resume, we'll have 4:22 on the clock left in the fourth quarter. And this game has seen 3.5 quarters, essentially. And it's seen Trey McKinney go off for 34 points. It's seen Sonny Wilson go off for 23. And there you have it thus far. There's the line. That's how we got there. St. Mary's +5 to end the first, but they had to overcome a 5-point hole. UAD jumped out to a quick 9-4 lead. The Eaglets would blossom their lead up to a touchdown at halftime. UAD would come right back and have the advantage in the third where they exploded. Sonny started to get hot, and then a 5-point margin is where we sit right now. So, Stick, this game about to resume, and this game has been a good one. And we've seen some of the weaknesses exposed by both teams, but we've seen this game develop thus far. Where do you think the advantages lie with this starting over? Which team has the advantage that this game is a reset?
I don't know. Honestly, you know, if a team's going to come out hot, if they're going to come out cold, I would say that St. Mary's maybe a little bit because Sonny Wilson was so hot there in the fourth quarter, hitting all the big shots. But you could say the same thing for UAD because Trey McKinney, is he going to continue his torrid shooting that he was doing in the game yesterday? It's going to be interesting because they got to come out like it's literally the fourth quarter and there's a 5-point ball game. There's no introductory period.
No, well said. It's interesting to see. It's like a new game within a game. There you see the reset. Sonny did his thing, 9 of 17, 3 of 8 from downtown, 5 rebounds to boot. Trey with 34, 7 rebounds and 3 fouls. He did not hit a three-pointer. Those 34 points are all from 2 or free throws. Team total, St. Mary's is out shooting U of D in every which way except from downtown, of which St. Mary's has hit just 1 of 5. So that's something that St. Mary's has leaned on the last few games is the three-pointer. They're doing it with different ways. How do you stop Trey McKinney, and how do you stop Sonny Wilson?
You don't. You know, it's one of those, you can't stop them. You only hope to contain them, and you hope somebody else beats you, right, at this point. And you saw Orchard Lake St. Mary's at the end of the game yesterday. Like I said, they were showing out on Sonny Wilson, so he could no longer hit three-pointers. So you try to take away their biggest weapon and hope that somebody else beats you. And both of these rosters have the ability to be able to do that.
This is the 62nd meeting all-time. UAD does lead the series 31-30. St. Mary's has won 4 of the last 6. They beat UAD last year in the semifinals by 22 to get to the championship game and win. Meanwhile, UAD won 17 straight games in this series between 2014 to 2019 and swept St. Mary's in the regular season last year by a total of 5 points, but went 2-0 against him in the regular season. Todd Covert in his 9th season as the head coach, a 92 grad of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And Todd learned under George Porritt, who won a state title in 2000. St. Mary's with 4 bubbles to their credit in the basketball category in their historic lineage here. UAD won in 2016 under Pat Donnelly and their state title. They also lost in a state title game, a heartbreaker back in 2019. Let's meet the starters for tonight. As you get a look at Pat Donnelly, let's look at his Cubs and his starters. They'll start with Xavier Johnson, one of the guards at 6'4", a sophomore. As you see there, Leroy Blyden, also a big part. He has 8 points in this game, a sophomore at 5'10". McCoy and Banks, but Sonny Wilson, the storyline, Sonny, the 6-foot senior, committed to Toledo. Orchard Lake St. Mary's starters, and both teams will come out with the same. Look like this. The Eaglets will start with Sherrod Barnes at the point. Sherrod with 10. He's the second leading scorer. Mason Wisniewski in the middle. Andrew Smith, Daniel Smythe, and Trey McKinney, who has 34 points. We are set to go. It's a 5-point St. Mary's lead, 4:22 left. And here we go in a much lighter crowd and also less humid. Right corner UAD into the post. This is Banks, who was a focus early. Kick out. Sonny saves it at midcourt. Sonny. Lob down low. Banks. Banks hook shot up and good against Wisniewski. And the Cubs have cut it to 3. They score on their first possession.
And we heard Coach Donnelly talking about that last night after the game, using his big man and getting more established position down low, and that's where they've had success. And they come out double teaming Trey McKinney.
There's a hold down low. UAD doesn't like it. Wisniewski was fouled going up.
Ooh, that very easily could have been a jump ball. Blythe got in there at the last second, was able to grab the ball. We'll get a good look at it here on the replay. Nice cut. Must have got him on the other hand. But Mason Wisniewski has been very aggressive this fourth quarter.
Yes, he has. He'll go line left. This is the junior Mason Wisniewski at 6'6", and he drenches the first. Wisniewski now with 4 points in the game, and that would make him the 3rd high scorer for the Eaglets.
Yeah, he's been cutting to the rim a lot, and then you saw him yesterday with a baseline drive and try to go for the dunk.
Knocks them both in, gets the 2 points back. 54-49, St. Mary's in the lead with 3:37 to go. This is Gerard McCoy who gives it up topside to Banks. Banks against Wisniewski, the two big men. Leroy high on the right. Back to Johnson, fouled with a shot, short corner left, count it, and the foul. Xavier Johnson, the sophomore, has been a headache for St. Mary's in this game, and he finishes nicely with a left hand here.
Yeah, nice pull-up jumper, able to get it over his defender while he's on the run, and that's a tough shot along the baseline. Nice lefty. Lefties have such nice-looking shots, man, just like in baseball. Nice-looking swings out of lefties.
Lefties got all the fun, don't they?
Yeah.
Three-point plays converted, so it's a two-point game. Full court pressure, Smythe to trigger. Andrew Smith up the near sideline. McCoy out there with 3 fouls. Trey McKinney with 3 fouls. Todd Covert with a timeout. 3:13 to go, timeout. We'll take it with them. We're back in 30 seconds to Orchard Lake. Eaglets by 2 and a tight one with 3 to go.
Are you prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself? Shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy. Forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
There you see the Eaglets currently 3-2, a win in the opener over Renaissance. Their best win, 57-55. A nice win also over Ferndale. That loss to Michigan Collegiate, Warren Michigan Collegiate by just 1 point. St. Mary's, of course, a 4-time state champion. Todd Covert in his 9th year has done a great job after losing 6 seniors last year, 4 starters. I mean, he's got this potentially the best defensive unit in the state right now, and the offense is coming on just fine. Covert's done a nice job this year, and folks say, oh yeah, it's St. Mary's. But I mean, he really had to reload. He lost 5 Division I guys, Stick.
Yeah, whenever you're able to do that, it just speaks to your program and how deep it is and how good of a coaching job that Todd Covert does.
McKinney across the timeline against McCoy. Both these guys with 3 fouls. Now the 2-time. Sherrod around his screen. Kick to the corner. Smith backs it out. Eaglets by 2, 3 minutes left. Trey with 34, looking for his first points in this extra frame. Now Smith with it to Smythe. Dribble drive. Down to Wisniewski. Layup. Fouled. That's Sonny Wilson on the foul. That's just Sonny Wilson's second foul.
Yeah, well, there you go. Wisniewski once again having a big impact on this game, and a great pass by Smythe to get it to him. But Wisniewski's been a big factor in this fourth quarter, especially with them double-teaming Trey McKinney.
He sure has. St. Mary's without their starting center, Savory. Ruled ineligible by the MHSAA.
But I think this is a smart move by Coach Donnelly. Are you going to let Trey McKinney beat you, or would you rather have Mason Wisniewski try to beat you? And, you know, Trey's probably the wrong answer.
7 of 14 are the Eaglets from the free throw line. UAD worse. They're 4 of 9. St. Mary's by 2. 2:30 left. Right corner Johnson. Cross court to McCoy, working man-to-man now. Is Barnes against Wilson. This is what folks came to see, and we've got a hand check on Sherrod. That'll be just his second foul. Sorry, Stick.
No, you're fine. It's tough to stay in front of Sonny Wilson. He's got a little herky-jerky type of dribble, and Sherrod Barnes, a great on-the-ball defender there. Just a little too handsy.
Right wing Banks. Banks with a dozen. Against Wisniewski to the hole. Shot up and good. Xavier Banks has been a headache in the paint, and he ties it at 54. He feels comfy in that paint. He had the game winner there last year, Stick.
We were talking about who's going to be the secondary player to step up, and it's been Banks so far.
Sherrod Barnes around the defender again. Always been slippery, Stick.
And that's been the guy for Orchard Lake St. Mary's to answer the call.
Sherrod Barnes now with a dozen. Second in scoring to Trey McKinney. There's a foul, there's a hold again. And it's going to go on Andrew Smith. That'll be his second. And the team's fourth. St. Mary's by 2, 1:45 left in this suspended game. 3-ball no. Trey with a rebound. Doesn't have numbers, takes it anyway to the hole and has it blocked, but he's fouled. That's the fourth on McCoy. But it'll send Trey line left to shoot 2.
And all game long, these officials have been giving the benefit of the call to the aggressor on both sides of the ball, and that's what you got to be in this game. You go up strong like that, initiate contact, you're going to get your free throws. Now you just got to make them.
Trey looking for point number 35, and he's got it. This is a career high for the sophomore who has 20-plus offers, including Michigan, Indiana, Ohio State, Texas, Texas Christian, Alabama. St. Mary's splits the pair. Eaglets by 3, 94 seconds left. Pass is tipped and loose, and Daniel Smythe's going to get caught for the foul, reaching around Sonny's back, trying to steal it. UD dodges a bullet here.
Yeah, Sherrod Barnes with the active hands was able to knock that ball away, just unable to secure it.
Sonny Wilson yet to score in the extra frame as well. You can imagine a lot of attention on Wilson and Trey McKinney during the break. Step back 3 for Sonny to tie it, and he did. And we're tied at 57 with 1:07 to go.
And here we go. The intensity's starting to pick up now. That big shot got the crowd into it. Not as big as last night, but they're getting loud.
Sonny with his 4th triple in the game. Sherrod with the basketball, down to Smith with a reverse layup, had it blocked by Banks. We're under 49 seconds, and Sonny Wilson has the ball in his hands and a chance for the Cubs to take the final shot. The Cubs came in and stole one from St. Mary's last year. In the final regular season matchup, Cubs won the regular season last year. Eaglets won the Catholic League tournament. Neither team made it past the quarterfinals, and this has a possession that has a game winner potential written all over it.
And what it also has written all over it is potentially overtime. So we may get more than the 4 minutes and 22 seconds of action here on a Saturday morning. There's Coach Donnelly drawing up a play. Who are you going to? I mean, Sonny Wilson just hits that big 3 to tie the game. You know the defense is going to be focused on him. There's that step back 3. So I would look for, once again, one of the bigs rolling to the rim, because they're going to double Sonny, right?
Yep.
So you got to draw up something for somebody else right now.
Yeah, that's a thought. You'd think Xavier Banks may be an option. You mentioned the experience factor, senior on junior, and a lot of court time, and a guy that's confident in late game situations. But you know the ball's going to start in Sonny Wilson's hands. What a game it's been. 57 all. St. Mary's led by 5 after 1. They led by 7 at halftime. And after the end of 3, this was just a 3-point game, and it's been nip and tuck the whole way. As we take a look at UAD, 7-0, ranked 2 in our poll. They knocked off Ferndale. Ferndale, a common opponent. Both these teams beat. A tight one, though, in the opener this season. Cassius Winston, of course, former Mr. Basketball and Big Ten Player of the Year in 2019 for the Spartans. An NBA draft pick by the Wizards. Here we go, 28.6 seconds left. The Cubs can get the final shot if they want. Both teams are in the bonus, single bonus. Wilson against Barnes, one of the best on-ball defenders in the state against one of the best players in the state, if not the best, in Sonny Wilson. 13 seconds. Sonny against Barnes. 7 seconds. Sonny wants it. 5 seconds. High ball screen. Sonny for the game winner. No. Loose ball Banks, and we are going to overtime. Oh, we wanted more, and we got it. Let's play another one.
You know, I didn't want to drive all the way out here on a Saturday just for 4 minutes and 22 seconds of basketball. I'm glad both these teams now, they're warmed up. It's a fresh game, 5 minutes on the clock. Both big players ready to do what they need to do. We are ready for overtime here at Dombrowski Fieldhouse.
All right. Happy Saturday morning. Glad you're with us. We're the Prep. Thanks for hanging out.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Well, we've partnered with Mansour Homes, the real estate professionals. Contact Al Mansour, Realtor, Mansour Homes Group at Keller Williams, 248-444-5700, Al at mansourhomes.com. Welcome back to Dabrowski Fieldhouse. Chad Bush and Sam Stick Day with you. We're going to overtime, and how fitting it is that both these teams will go to overtime. 4:22 left to play, and we get an extra frame. How lucky we are.
Yeah, and this is where I would expect Trey McKinney to get a little more involved. It seemed like in that last 4:22, he really wasn't being as assertive as he was yesterday, so expect him to kind of take over this overtime and expect the double teams to keep on coming for both the Stars.
Yeah, Sonny has 3 points with that final 4:22, and Trey had 1 point. So here we go. But Sonny's was a big one. It was that triple to tie it. Sherrod Barnes has started for St. Mary's. 4 minutes on the clock. Sherrod grinds his way to the hole, bounce pass to Smith, and he threw it away.
Yeah, a little force on that possession. He was trying to take the big down low, and once he got stopped, he should have probably tried to pull it back out.
Turnover by the sophomore, who has offers from Toledo and Eastern Michigan. Sonny Wilson, who he's checking, is perhaps telling him to get to Toledo. He's got a couple years to think about it. Sonny against Andrew Smith. We'll see what they do here. Kick out left wing. Johnson for three. No. Trey with a rebound. And he'll wait for his teammates to cross midcourt. Trey pull up 20-footer, rim off. No. Sonny with a rebound.
Yeah, we were expecting him to be more aggressive, but that's not exactly the shot you want, especially with a smaller defender on you like Sonny Wilson.
And usually you'd say it's late in the game, you want to work their legs a little bit, but I mean, no. There's fresh legs today. Banks down low, knocked away by Smythe, and off of UAD, out of bounds. That hit off of McCoy. And those are good active hands from Daniel Smythe, the junior.
And those are the little things that are going to have a big impact on the game. Every possession so crucial right now, and you see just a little bit of a touch by UAD on the way out.
2:40 left. Sherrod across the timeline. He's had a strong game. 12 points. 3 assists. Wisniewski back to Smith. Andrew. Reach step. Fadeaway mid-post. No. Wisniewski over the back. Grabs it and scores it. Wisniewski with a bucket, and St. Mary's takes the lead, the first field goal of the extra frame.
And on an offensive rebound, that was UAD's strength yesterday, and St. Mary's taking the lead in overtime with one right now. And there you see the show out on Sonny Wilson.
Right corner, McCoy for three. Back iron, no. Rebound, Smythe. And with 2:03 left, St. Mary's has the ball. And this light crowd making some noise on this Saturday. It was packed and sold out. Trey McKinney, backdoor cut, and the sharing of the sugar from Sherrod was poetic. Eaglets +4 with 1:44 to go.
And that's the second time we've seen that play in this game.
Sonny double team, gives it up to Leroy. Leroy Blyden, back to Sonny Wilson. Knocked out by Sherrod, gives it up. McCoy, right corner three, splash city. Cuts it to one. And a big-time shot by the 4-foul McCoy, sticking around and making a statement.
Yeah, and after a pretty good defensive play, too, by Sherrod Barnes, able to get his hand on the ball, knock it straight down. But Sonny Wilson, with that court awareness, finds his man in the corner to knock down a big three. Because if St. Mary's has the ball up 4 with a minute 20 left, we're talking a whole different ball game. Still a 1-point game.
The 3 ball's been big for UAD. They've knocked home 8 of them in this game. St. Mary's has knocked home just 1. So that's a 21-point difference there. The Eaglets have focused more on the 2-point variety and attacking the 10, and that's what they did with the Barnes basket that they got. Wisniewski hustling on the offensive end as well. So they're finding different ways to score. Everybody's having to because of the focus on the 2 stars right now.
And you got to be impressed by Wisniewski and what he's become. I mean, I went back and rewatched the game last night when I got home, and we said early in the first quarter that he's going to have to get stronger throughout the game, and that's exactly what's happened. He's become a force now with 7 points. That's the 3rd leading scorer on St. Mary's, 5th leading scorer in the game.
Yep, they've needed him to step up, and he has. But this one far from over, 1:21 left. Finals from yesterday, Brighton beats Novi by 10. Cass Tech knocks off Southeastern by 42. Clarkston over Lakeland. Chippewa Valley upsets Dakota 48-47. De La Salle knocks off #1 Rice 38-34. Detroit Western 75, Henry Ford 72. We covered both those teams. Grosse Pointe South beats Roseville by 10. And Warren Lincoln, #3, upset. Inbound to Trey in the backcourt. 1:20 left, 61-60. St. Mary's, who comes in 3-2. One of those losses to the #1 team in the state of Illinois. Kick out left corner, pocket left 3 for Smythe. In and out, no. Another offensive rebound for Wisniewski. And we've got a jump ball. UAD ball.
But Wisniewski, once again, playing big down low.
Another chance for St. Mary's. They do have the possession arrow, but yeah, you like the fight and the confidence in Wisniewski. He's even a different player from yesterday, it appears, to start. 60 seconds left. St. Mary's by 1. It's been a dandy back and forth. We have gone. Lead has changed 3 times. The score's been tied 6 times. And with a bucket here, UAD could take another lead change. Leroy against Smythe, and that's a hand check on Daniel. Oof. And that will be free throws for U of D. That's the 7th team foul. That's the 3rd on Smythe. He and McKinney both with 3 along with Smith.
Yeah, it's a tough foul to take that far away from the basket, especially putting them on the line to potentially take the lead.
Leroy Blyden line right to tie it, and he does. Blyden, a nice looking new addition to Pat Donnelly's club. 16 points a game. Combo shooter, combo guard, top 3-point shooter on the team, and he missed that free throw. So St. Mary's now with a chance in a tie game to get the final shot.
Here comes a double team on Trey.
Gives it up to Smith high in the right. Now back to Sherrod. Todd Covert says hold up. Off the bounce against Hatcher. Takes it to the rim. Is fouled going up. Just so fast with that first step. And free throws coming up for 0, the sophomore.
And I got to be honest, I'm shocked St. Mary's went that early in the clock. I mean, they could have very easily held that for the last second shot, guaranteeing themselves at least a tie or a victory. But Sherrod Barnes had his defender beat, went to the hoop, and unfortunately he wasn't able to get the and one.
2 of 4 in this game from the free throw line for the super sophomore Sherrod Barnes. With a clock frozen with 23.5 seconds left, tied at 61.
And a quiet gym, too.
First one is down. I was kidding with a hush.
Oh, no, I know. But no, that's the difference between yesterday and today. Yesterday, there's tons of people in here. Today, quiet at the free throw line. I'm not sure which worse.
Maybe less pressure. Certainly less condensation. Sticks and bowl. Sherrod gets 2 big free throws. Timeout, Todd Covert. We're coming back with a final 23.5 seconds. Perhaps. Maybe there's more to come. Thanks for sticking around to find out. We are the Prep. Thanks for watching.
the innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
In today's ever-changing real estate and mortgage lending world, the importance of a true professional has never been higher. At Success Mortgage Partners, our mission is for every borrower to receive Level 10 service, and our goal is to get you the lowest rate possible. We want you to have an experience of a lifetime. Navigating a turbulent market like this needs to be handled by a real professional. Call Todd Barr at 734-674-6154 and put 20 years of local knowledge to use for you and your family. Welcome back to Dabrowski Fieldhouse. Chad Bush and Sam Stick Day. Stick, 23.5 seconds left. UD has the basketball, down by 2. What do you look for if you're UD?
If I'm UD, I'm looking at getting Sonny Wilson out on the perimeter, maybe drawing up a pick and roll. See, I like how they're starting the offense without the ball in his hand, so maybe he can get open.
All right, Leroy Blyden with the basketball. Working against Wisniewski. Down low to Banks, and he's fouled by Daniel Smythe. That's a good foul, some might say. That is the 4th on Daniel. And with 14.6 seconds left, Banks will have to earn it line right.
Yeah, and Donley made a concerted effort yesterday to get the ball down low, and he does it again on a big possession.
Banks has yet to shoot a free throw in this game, and he hits the big one, the first one. UD within 1 with 14.5 seconds left.
Well, now the main thing is boxing out on a miss.
One more for Banks, and he missed it. Barnes with a rebound, and Barnes with 12 seconds left wants to get fouled, and he will. So 10.3 seconds left. St. Mary's by 1, and Barnes to shoot 2 free throws. It's double bonus time coming up. Timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here. Keep it right here. Next Friday, we will be at Orchard Lake St. Mary's for hockey, as Heartland will be in the house to take on the Eaglets. You should come out, check out hockey. It's kind of a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, no, Orchard Lake St. Mary's hockey games have always been fun.
And so we'll be on the air Friday. We also have coverage Monday of the Motor City Cruise. The Cruise are in the house on Monday. And I want to say thank you to our crew for showing up today on short notice, led by Chase Kaufman, Robert Sherby, Evan Westfall, Rob Sarna, Jamie Janssen, Pat Bush, Austin Sonnenberg, a great crew that showed up on short notice. So thank you all for doing your part and doing great work on short notice. We are the Prep. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your subscriptions. And thanks for watching this morning. Stick, it's been a great game back and forth. It went to overtime, so we feel like we came here and you know, we're actually a part of something, a substantiated length time-wise. What a great game.
Yeah, definitely worth the drive, like we were saying. You know, 4 minutes of this game, and last night I even wanted overtime. So to get it even extended on a Saturday, this is what you like to wake up and do, and then we're going to have the rest of the day to do whatever after we've watched some of the best basketball that you can see in the state of Michigan.
Yep. Talked to John McKinney, Trey's father, coming in. They're headed to Michigan State to watch Michigan State as a guest of Michigan State basketball. So some are doing big things today. Some will be going back home and watching that game, but the McKinneys will be going there. As Trey, of course, heavily recruited by both, has been offered by Michigan. Line left, free throw up and good. Is there any way that Tom Izzo doesn't offer him today?
I don't think so, but I was kind of thinking that. Is it a recruiting trip for Michigan State or Michigan?
Michigan State. No, it's a good question. I asked the same thing.
Yep.
St. Mary's by 2, looking to get to 3. Sherrod does it. A full possession lead for St. Mary's. Sherrod with a big brass trip to the strip.
Yeah, and it's 2 in a row, knocking down 4 shots, 4 free throws, and he'd struggled going into that. He was only shooting 50% before those last 2 trips. So to step up there, ice cold, blood in his veins, overtime, 10 seconds left, pressure's on, making the shots. That says a lot about a sophomore and his composure.
Strategy now, if you're St. Mary's, look, you have the opportunity to give one more foul to be in the single bonus.
Yep.
They're at 18 fouls. I mean, is that something you do right away, or how do you handle this possession defensively?
You make them beat a half court or like a three-quarter court press just to kind of use some time. And the minute they cross the half court line, maybe you use that foul. You know, because we all remember Kobe Bryant in the 2004 NBA Finals against the Pistons when they elected not to foul him when they were up 3. And what'd he do? Came down the court, hit the 3, went to overtime, and, you know, that's the only game they won in the 5-game sweep, but that's okay.
That's right. Yeah. So to be clear, we're not, if you're St. Mary's, you don't want to let UD get a shot up that would tie the game.
No, why would you? You have a competitive advantage right now, so use it.
All right. 10.3 seconds left. UD basketball. They'll have to go full court. They're down by 3. UD is led by as many as 5 in this game, but that was way early on. That was back at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. St. Mary's is led by as many as 9. That was in the final minute of the second quarter.
And here comes the press.
But it's been back and forth, and we're in overtime now. 8 seconds left, and Smythe with a foul with 7.5 seconds left. That'll foul out Daniel Smythe. That's his 5th. So line right is Leroy Blyden. And so now he'll have to make some decisions as well, strategy-wise, and his trip here. So Smythe fouls out. Jackson Wazalewski will check in, the senior, the lone senior on the team. Guy that adds some experience, some speed, some athleticism, and some shooting ability. Smythe will foul out in this game. He finishes with 3 points and 4 assists. Free throw up and good. So a 2-point game, 7.5 seconds left. Now what do you do?
Well, you got 2 options. You either try to miss on purpose or you make it and make St. Mary's make free throws.
This one's up and good. So Pat Donnelly will extend the game, 7.5 seconds left. It's a 1-point game. The basketball snobs would say there's a ton of time left. There's so much time left. It's an eternity in a basketball game.
It is sometimes.
It is. But look, 7.5 seconds. There is time for both teams to get up and down, and it's going to come back down to free throws here.
Yeah, and I like that move by Donnelly, though. Like, I'm always in fan of making the other team make plays. So now not only does St. Mary's have to inbound it cleanly, they got to make sure they break the timeline. They got, if they get fouled, they got to make sure they make their free throws. There's still a lot of pressure on Orchard Lake St. Mary's to close out this game. You go for the miss there and don't get the rebound, pressure is kind of off of them at that point.
No doubt. Orchard Lake St. Mary's was very complimentary of Pat Donnelly in the way he handled the suspension of the game last night. And, you know, St. Mary's folks saying, look, very classy of UAD to do what they did. And, you know, they didn't complain about the gym. They didn't, you know, bicker. They just said, okay, let's do it tomorrow. And St. Mary's was very impressed with that, and they appreciated the partnership with UAD in that decision last night. 7.5 seconds left.
Look at this inbound play.
St. Mary's is running a football play. Okay.
4 wide.
And this is an inbound to Sherrod Barnes. And Barnes will get fouled with 6.5 seconds left. So a second off the clock. The throw was a hitch right side, caught, and tackled after a 5-yard gain. Second down and 5.
Little 7 on. Look at Jermaine Gonzalez down there laughing. He drew that up in the football field for him. He's like, hey, coach, why don't you try this in basketball? It worked for us this year.
Oh.
That was interesting. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen that.
I love when I see things I've never seen before on a court.
That's pretty cool. It's a 1-point game. There's 6.5 seconds left. Plenty of time. Sherrod Barnes line left. He has been rock solid from the stripe. And he is once more here. It's a 2-point game with 6.5 seconds left and a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout with them. We're back in 30 seconds for the finale from Orchard Lake. Oh, it's been fun. You want to play another frame? Why not? We'll find out right after this.
Are you prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself? Shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy. Forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
St. Mary's by 2. One more free throw to come for Sherrod Barnes, who's been key in this overtime. 17 points now for the sophomore. St. Mary's by 2. One more free throw to come. But whatever happens, UAD has an opportunity to tie or take the lead with a final possession. So, look, they've played themselves into the right strategy regardless of the result. But Sherrod Barnes can take matters into his own hands here.
Yeah, you almost extend the game, and sometimes even if Sherrod Barnes misses this and there's like a battle for the rebound, that wastes some clock. So even a miss sometimes in this situation isn't the worst thing because you could run some clock, but obviously you want the make.
Exactly. Trey McKinney now with a double-double. He has 37 points to go with 10 rebounds. Sonny Wilson with 26 points to go with 7 rebounds. Banks with 15 and 8, and Blyden with 11. This is the sophomore Sherrod Barnes line left, a second-year varsity player, and a big free throw, and he buries it. St. Mary's 67, UAD 64, 6.5 seconds left. Sonny Wilson across the timeline to tie it at the buzzer. Back iron miss, no. Stick back Banks, no good. And St. Mary's has won and held on after 15 hours of basketball. Since the time this thing started, it's been a war. St. Mary's comes out on top in a great basketball game this morning. And
I am shocked they let Sonny Wilson take the ball all the way down the court for an open 3. That is not the guy you want to do that. Maybe they thought that he was going to assume they were going to foul him, but I don't know how that play came to be. But Orchard Lake St. Mary's dodging a bullet and also playing a tremendous 2-day basketball game here at Dombrowski Fieldhouse. And what an incredible game. Glad it went to overtime. Glad we were able to be here for both parts of it. And congratulations to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, now sitting 4-2 on the season.
The Eaglets move to 4-2. They get their first win in their first attempt in league play. And UAD takes their first loss. They fall to 7-1 on the year. And look, these two teams are going to meet again this season, and they'll play in Detroit, and that will be a fun one too. There's no doubt both these teams have a bright future ahead of them this season. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with our G of the game, which we restart here today. Our G of the game coming up right after this. St. Mary's wins in overtime by 3 after a suspension of the game last night due to condensation on the floor. It goes to overtime today. They play out the final 4:22, and the Eaglets, with 4 minutes on the clock, come out on top by 3 in a great game. St. Mary's wins it. We're back with the player of the game and the G of the game right after these.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Welcome back to Dombrowski Fieldhouse. St. Mary's has won in overtime, 67-64. The Eaglets get it done against the number 2 team, University of Detroit Jesuit. And yeah, it might have taken 15 hours or so, but our G of the game is with us, Trey McKinney. And Trey, was it worth this wait? Was it worth the wait? This was a long time to get a victory. You started at 7 o'clock. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I feel like it was worth the wait because I didn't want anybody to get hurt, and it was slippery out there, so it was worth the wait.
Seemed like the right decision, no doubt. And look, you went to bed last night. You had to feel good. I mean, you had 34 points in what was 3.5 quarters yesterday. You guys had a 5-point lead. How were you feeling when you left here?
Well, our coaches just kept us locked in, and they told us we had to keep the right mindset to finish the game off tomorrow, so I feel like that's what we did.
You were on quite a run and a streak, and it just seemed like you were locked in a moment. Describe what it's like when you're in a zone like that where you're at that high efficiency of making shots.
Well, I feel like I work hard in the gym, and I work on those shots I shoot, so I feel like it just comes to me in the game, so I feel like it's knocked down.
You lost 4 starters last year. You're the only starter coming back. A lot of folks maybe haven't, looked at that, but you had a lot of pressure on you to come back and be the guy, just a sophomore. And yeah, an elite player, no doubt, but what's it been like carrying this team, so to speak, as the older guy is just a sophomore?
Well, I got Sherrod, Bugsy, and Drew and Bugs been here more than me, so I feel like they've been maintaining, keeping that leadership in the locker room and in practice, so yeah.
You've got a new group of guys, but you guys seem to be coming together. A couple losses early to tough teams. Have you seen a transformation in this 3-game win streak the last few games?
Yeah, I feel like us losing, it made us better, and it helped us really lock in and keep the right mindset and get better and practice every day.
What's this recruitment process been like for you? Are you enjoying it? Is it annoying? Is it too much? Is it too little? What's it like?
Well, it's fun just going to different places around the country and just meeting new coaches. It's fun to me.
I understand you're headed to Michigan State today.
Yeah.
Take on a basketball game. You excited about going up there?
Yeah, I'm excited. Rivalry game.
Okay. Has Michigan State offered you?
Yeah.
They have? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wrong about that. Okay. What's ahead for this team? You're now 4-2. You've knocked off UAD, and you're about to go through the gauntlet called the Catholic League Central Division. What's ahead for this team? What do you guys have to do to stay on top and win this league in the regular season?
Well, we have the right team to win this league, and we have the right team to win the state championship. We just got to lock in and get better every day in practice and listen to what Coach has for us.
Trey, thanks so much for joining us. You are our G of the game, and so you, my friend, will get a hat from our great sponsor, G-Brand, as our G of the game. We thank you very much, sir. Best of luck. Congratulations on a great performance. Trey McKinney tonight, 17-24, 10 rebounds, 37 points to lead St. Mary's to a win in overtime against UAD. We're coming back to put the baby to bed from Orchard Lake. We are the Prep. Thanks for watching.
Are you prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself? Shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy. Forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Good job, kid. Want to thank our friends at The Lodge Grill and Bar on Orchard Lake Road in Kego Harbor. Great food, great fun, great service. The Lodge, we thank them for providing for us wonderful meals, especially yesterday. Who could forget the chicken fettuccine?
I can't. I'm still full.
Who could forget the cabin chicken?
The chicken bites.
Who could forget the chicken bites?
The nachos.
It was so good. We went up there last night after the game. We hit that joint up twice.
We shut it down.
We shut it down. Pat the Stat was doing water shots all over the bar. It was crazy. We did miss our crew that stiffed us, but that's okay. I know deep down they still love us, and we love them. Welcome back. St. Mary's and UAD has concluded the first Catholic League Central Division game for these two schools, and it was a good one. St. Mary's wins it, but not without a war, in a game that saw 7 ties and 3 lead changes, and saw 3.5 quarters yesterday, saw 8 minutes, a full quarter today is what it equated to, 4 minutes and 22 seconds of the balance of the fourth quarter, and then 4 minutes of the overtime period today. So welcome back. Chad Bush alongside Sam Stick Day. And Stick, we saw just a great battle between two Catholic League Central Division teams.
Yeah, and if that's the first game of the Catholic League Central, I'm excited for the rest of the season because that's what it's going to be like. They're going to play Brother Rice. You're going to play Catholic Central. You're going to play De La Salle. And all of these games are going to be similar for all of the teams playing each other. We saw it last year, and we're going to see it again this year. And it produces pretty good results in the state tournament.
Yeah, it should be fun. St. Mary's does not get a break. Nobody does in the Central Division.
Nope.
They'll now play on Tuesday at De La Salle, the reigning state champion in Division I, and the team that beat St. Mary's last year in the quarterfinals. Yep. To advance and go on to win the state title.
And those regular season games were fun to call last year, too, between De La Salle. Remember when we were in De La Salle, that the Bro Zone, I believe they call it.
Oh, yeah.
That arena was rocking, so it's a lot of fun to call these games.
And it'll be rocking on Tuesday. De La Salle is coming off an upset win over #1 Brother Rice by 4 points yesterday at Brother Rice. So, yeah, the Bro Zone will be bumping, jumping, and everything. And it'll be a great game. We will not be there, but we certainly will have tabs wherever we are. But this one here today was a great basketball game, fun to watch. It was fun to watch yesterday. Glad we had an extra frame to keep this game going.
I am too.
Give me one thing each side that you were most impressive with for both clubs.
You know, I got to say it. Mason Wisniewski for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, the guy we talked about, you know, one of his first starts. He had to play big because U of D has solid big men. That was kind of Orchard Lake St. Mary's weakness. And by the end of the game, it became one of their strengths. You know, St. Mary's was giving up a ton of offensive rebounds early in the game. And then the big offensive rebound he got to put St. Mary's up too. That was probably one of the biggest baskets of the game, and it was cool to see him develop over the past 15 hours, and we could say that during a game. And, you know, you look over to the side of UAD, and you just know there is no stopping that team. No stopping Sonny Wilson. They have the fight. You know, even when Sonny Wilson is passing the ball off, they're hitting big three-point shots in the corner. So they just have a solid team from top to bottom. And if I'm UAD, I'm not leaving here with my head down. I gained a lot of knowledge. Right. And you heard Trey McKinney in the postgame interview. We got better because of a loss. This may be a loss that UAD gets better from.
I think you're right. Let's go through the final stats quickly in this one. Trey McKinney led the way, 37 points, 10 rebounds. 18 points for Sherrod Barnes, who really ended up being the hero in the late stages of the fourth and in overtime.
Those free throws, I cannot express how much pressure, and, you know, we talked about it during the game. When this arena's packed and people are yelling, that's a normal pressure, right? when it's kind of empty like this and it was quiet and you heard one guy just yelling, miss it every time, it's a little bit different atmosphere. And he stepped up to the line, made 4 in a row, and that was huge for Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Yeah, Sherrod Barnes ends up 8 of 10 from the stripe. He was 2 of 4 going into that late stretch, and he was money late in the game. And then on the other side of the ledger, of course, Sonny Wilson was the storyline. Just 3 points, though, in the final 8 minutes. That big three-pointer to tie it at 57, no doubt. But they missed him in the final 4 minutes. And St. Mary's, hey, look, this defense for St. Mary's gets overlooked. I think this is the best defense in the state, or at least in the discussion for it.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at that analytics site last night, and they have Orchard Lake St. Mary's defense ranked number 2 in the state right now, and it's tough to debate that. They have a solid defense, but Orchard Lake St. Mary's did get away with one on that last possession. Sonny Wilson taking the ball down the court, a pull-up 3 at the top of the three-point line. You'd expect that to go in. I expected it to go in when it was in the air.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's going to put us done for the day. We're moving on to other things, but don't forget we'll be back on the air on Monday as we have Cruz basketball from Detroit. We'll have the start time there at 6:45 from Wayne State Fieldhouse. We will have high school basketball next week. We'll also have high school hockey next Friday. Orchard Lake St. Mary's hosting Heartland, and Evan Stockton and Ben Holden with the call at 6:45. Stay tuned to theprepsports.com for all the latest news. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We'll have all kinds of updates of what we'll cover next week. You can always find our calendar as well on our website. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being a part of this 2-part game. Something about the prep and 2-part games. You've been a part of it.
I like them, though. I mean, both of those games have been so fun to be a part of. That what was it, Cass Tech, Southfield A&T. That was an incredible game to be a part of. And then this was an incredible. It's not like we're being a part of 2 different blowouts or something. Oh, we got to come back to the game. It's like, no, I want to see the finality of this game. I want to see who wins because you don't really know.
No doubt. We'll step aside and put this thing to rest. We want to thank everybody for being a part of it. Thank our crew for coming on short notice. And really appreciate the hustle and the hard work of this talented crew. Led by Chase Kaufman, your associate producer, and on replay today, Robert Sherby, your executive producer. Jamie Janssen and Pat Bush on stats. Rob Sarna on a camera. Who else we got on a camera? Austin Sonnenberg on replay. Evan Westfall on graphics. Guys are doing great work down there. And what a great crew. Of course, James Ferris, Julia Pisano. My name's Chad Bush. For my partner, Sam Stick Day, want to say have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you on Monday night from Detroit for the Motor City Cruise. Deontay Allen in the house. Welcome back. Thanks so much for watching. We're the Prep. Talk to you on Monday night. So long, everybody.